Hi, everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, June the 26th, 2023. Overall, this is a very favorable, very productive week. It's a continuation in some ways where I said last week that expansive, growth-oriented Jupiter was in harmony with business pragmatic Saturn that only happens every several years, and it's the best of it was the last half of June. And so this week, we're going to have the Sun in harmony with Saturn, discerning Mercury in harmony with Saturn. But let's start with Monday, the 26th. The moon that sets the emotional tone, the public tone, is in Libra. Libra is more fair-minded, social, very social. It's also seeking more peace, more cooperation. The first half of the day, Mars, warrior, assertive, courageous Mars, is going to be in tension, though, with rebellious, unpredictable Uranus. So the energies may be really anxious, very stressful, jumping to conclusions. And that moon Libra, it was trying to find a happy medium, a win-win. But the energies, the first half of the day, Pacific time, could be very unstable, unpredictable energies. This also on Monday, Mercury, discerning communication Mercury, had been in Gemini for a few weeks. And Gemini is a very mental sign. Gemini is ruled by or associated with Mercury. So Mercury was really strong when it was in Gemini in these recent weeks, meaning the mind was sharp and quick. 5:24 p.m. on the 26th Pacific time, Mercury goes into emotional, reflective Cancer for the next couple of weeks, where the Mercury and Gemini want to talk to everybody. We want to learn and network with everybody. Also on Monday, the 26th, discerning communication Mercury is leaving witty, quick, restless Gemini and going into more emotional, reflective, compassionate Cancer. So our thoughts, our mind may be more on home and family as one example for the next couple of weeks. On Tuesday, the moon continues in Libra, but in the late morning Pacific time, it will be in harmony with assertive Mars. So emotionally, the moon in Libra, we're seeking fair-mindedness, win-win situations, cooperation, but it's triggering Mars. So it's like a lot of action, a lot of activities can commence. It can be really good maybe for sports, for playfulness, but also overall more risk-taking, but not from an ego point of view, more of a win-win situation for everybody to start making some, taking action moving forwards. Wednesday, the 28th, now the moon is in Scorpio, where Scorpio is this all or nothing, introspective, intense energies. When the moon was in Libra, it was more social and more fair-minded. That Scorpio is like black and white, all or nothing. It's not casual. It can be really obsessive energies. But that moon is going to be in harmony with communication Mercury, mid-morning Pacific time, good for heartfelt conversations or writing. And then mid-afternoon, the moon will be in harmony with the Sun and Saturn, making for a very favorable day for business, for having much more common sense, being more pragmatic. That's also because the sun on Wednesday the 28th in Cancer will be in harmony with business pragmatic Saturn in Pisces. They're both water signs and therefore compatible. When the sun twice a year is trining or in harmony with Saturn, it's really good overall for business, but also for being really practical and building long-term structures. Thursday, the 29th, the moon continues in passionate, intense Scorpio, but by mid-afternoon, it's in tension for a couple of hours to social Venus. This might be you just want to be left alone. That Scorpio likes to hide. Good for recharging your batteries, going on a retreat, going into meditation. Now, later in the afternoon, the moon will be in opposition or confrontation with unpredictable Uranus. Now, that could bring in some upsets, but it could also bring in some sudden, unexpected surprises. Now, that goes along with the last half of the day with discerning Mercury in harmony with Saturn. Mercury can be very business savvy. Mercury is the negotiator. When it's in harmony with Saturn, it could give you a lot of business acumen, being able, a good negotiator. And with that moon to Uranus, that Mercury-Saturn would keep you grounded, but it also could mean that these surprises could be where you're seeing an opportunity that comes in out of nowhere and you're able to jump on it with the Mercury-Saturn and be very productive, monetize it, see the financial opportunity. Friday, the 30th, the moon continues in intense all-or-nothing Scorpio, but at 8 a.m. Pacific time, the moon moves into outgoing, fiery, traveling Sagittarius for the weekend. Scorpio can be brooding and introspective and dark. When the public tone goes into Sagittarius, it's adventurous, it's playful, it's optimistic, great for the weekend, and communication discerning Mercury will be aligning with the sun. A Sun-Mercury day, a lot of ideas, a lot of conversation. The mind is really stimulated. On Saturday, July the 1st, the sun continuing in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is associated or ruled by the planet Jupiter. The Jupiter on the last half of Saturday, July the 1st, Pacific time, will be in harmony with the sun. Where the sun is shining, that's putting a spotlight on the daily activities. So it's a day the sun's in harmony with expansive Jupiter, with the moon in Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. All things Jupiter, very favorable. Traveling. And it's Saturday, July the 1st, and a lot of people are heading out of town for the 4th of July holiday here in the United States. But Jupiter can also be education. You might be really thinking and planning about going back to school or preparing for school by the fall. But also there's a general mood of optimism. So it is a really great day for socializing, entertaining, party, starting a vacation. Sunday, July the 2nd, the moon continues in outgoing Sagittarius, but by 10:21 a.m., Pacific time, now the moon goes into Capricorn. Capricorn is more pragmatic, more organized, more sensible. It might be that after all that fun and games, Now the moon in Capricorn, there's the sense of we've got to get back to work. We've got things to finish up. But it's not all work, because moon in Capricorn can just help you be a little bit more grounded and sensible. But pleasure-seeking Venus will be aspecting eclectic Uranus. Venus-Uranus could be these unexpected romantic attractions. Uranus also represents friendships and group activities. So you might just be finding yourself unexpectedly networking, hanging out, having a party with friends. You could be hearing from a friend from your past. And the best part of Venus-Uranus is there might be this unexpected infatuation. And for all of you in current relationships, it would be a good day for sparking the romance, some unexpected romance back into the relationship. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.